it's Erica with an A. Welcome to my channel where I give my lighthearted reviews and unapologetic opinions about these crazy reality TV shows. If you like what you see, be sure to subscribe and like. It's a free way to show your girl some love because you know I need some love, okay? I am here with my hubby, and him and I have been watching Married at First Sight this episode, and he has a lot of opinions, so you guys are really going to enjoy him today. So let's dive into it. All right, guys, so let's dive into it. So it starts off, it's the first day of their honeymoon, so they're just now waking up, right? So they shift over to Chris and Alyssa, which we both know that, well, we all know that they didn't sleep in the same bed, right? So Chris wakes up in his separate room and Alyssa wakes up. Then it shifts over to Jasmina and Michael. And so they're just now waking up, and you could tell Jasmina's really not a morning person. Like, Mike is being sweet, bringing her coffee. She wasn't really feeling the coffee because he likes black coffee. She's not feeling that. And then he brings her breakfast, and she's still kind of like, it's not right now. You know, like you could tell mornings aren't her thing. Now, Mike, you know how he is. He always assumes the worst. So he kind of brought up a conversation like, hey, Jasmina, I'm feeling as though maybe we're not connecting anymore. Is something wrong? And she's just like, what are you talking about, dude? Like, we're connecting, but it's only been 3 days, right? And so I think what Mike is trying to say is that he's expecting them to already have consummated the marriage. Is that what you're kind of getting from him? Is he was a little horny, and that's why he told Jasmina, hey, I don't feel like we're being connected? Because how more connected can they be? They just met. Like, you know?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think there's some underlining, you know, he's just kind of, okay? Anyway, so going back to Chris and Alyssa. So Alyssa is being dramatic still, acting like Chris is this big monster. And she keeps saying, you know, how she's almost forced to be there with him. And so it just, let's just move on because we're going to talk about her more later. And I just don't even feel like mentioning her voice. I'm sorry. All right, Noi and Steve. So Noi and Steve seem really close. Like they haven't had sex yet, but I know it's coming. And Noi knows it too. She basically said, hey, pretty much if he's down for it, I'll be down for it. So I think it's going to happen. Now, Steve loves camping, so he expresses this to Noi, and she's looking at him like, I'm not really a camping chick, right? And so Steve's like, well, you know, I'm really adventurous, that may be an issue. And I think it is going to be an issue, don't you?
Yeah, that's definitely going to be an issue, you know, as an outside doorsman myself.
Oh, gosh.
I definitely understand his plight on that. You know, she's just gonna have to, you know, get out of the camping, and you know, maybe go glamping or something like that. She's gonna have to budge and compromise a little bit for that to work.
True. But and then he mentions he wants to have like a tent on the beach, right. And she's like, as long as we're inside. And I'm like, well, if you're camping on the beach, you're not going to be inside. Like, I don't think she realizes how naturey this dude really is. So she's in for a treat. I'm not gonna lie.
He's the type that will go hiking on the tallest mountains, and you know, take a one-way tent up the mountain. So if she's like high maintenance and just likes to be in the cold AC and you know and all of that, then it's gonna be a problem. But I think they got a good chance. They definitely got a good chance.
Yeah, because they have a good connection.
Right.
Now, O and Katina, I think O's your favorite. Is he your favorite?
No, he just remind me of some people that I know.
Okay.
That's it.
So I put in my notes, O has a mouthpiece, okay? I don't know if I'm buying it yet. Like, I don't, because he used to be Isaac, you know, the for the streets, Isaac. So I'm not really buying it, but my husband is buying it, and I don't know. We've been debating about if he's being truthful or not. But anyways, he's talking to Katina, and what did you want to say?
Well, I mean, I think that, you know, everybody has a past, and, you know, I won't hold that against him. He's being honest, transparent about it. You know, but you know, you do have to watch out because you know you have those old ghosts that will come back and show, you know, and show his face in certain times, you know. So we'll see how he has grown and see if he can hold true to the new person that he says that he is.
Yeah, we will see. Well, Katina brings up that O was kind of sweaty, right? So she's trying to work on cuddling with Katina, but he's coming off very sweaty to her. And I thought that was very funny how she's basically like, dude, you need to get that fixed. Right. Either get some Botox or whatever. So I feel like they're connecting because they're having genuine conversation and banter about embarrassing topics.
Yeah, well, I mean, the sweat could be a real thing. I mean, nobody really likes, you know, hygiene. But maybe it's just a condition. She's just gonna have to figure out, you know, what type of, you know, sleeping relationship that she wants to have. I mean, I don't know if she's gonna, you know, be able to do all that cuddling or
exactly.
Maybe at the, you know, maybe in the mornings you can take a shower and maybe they can cuddle then. I don't know. They're gonna have to work something out. You know?
Something's gonna have to change. Yeah. All right, so they go into their daytime dates. Okay, so each couple is doing their one-on-one dates. All right, it first starts off with Mike and Lindsay, and they go make like drinks, which I thought was kind of dope. Like they got with someone, they taught them how to make mixers and stuff.
Right.
And so they started talking, and they went to talk about their history, so their dating history. Okay, Lindsay said she just always gets these engineers. Every guy she's dated has been an engineer, and she's just done with those. Okay. Which I thought was interesting. I don't feel like Lindsay pulling an engineer. I don't see it because she's...
Well, there's a lot of engineers.
They seem so techie and awkward, no?
No, it's too many of them.
Okay, you know, that's why.
I'm not a fan of engineers. I don't really like engineers like that. That's just my preference. You know, I respect the job, but, you know.
Oh, okay.
Not my thing.
Well, so yeah, she has an engineer fetish. And all right, so Mark starts talking about his past relationships. And, you know, he's being vulnerable, telling her that, you know, a lot of his relationships was with people that weren't emotionally stable. And so he was trying to convey that he's the stable person in the relationship.
Right.
Lindsay took it as he was a people pleaser. And I thought she was a little off on that.
Yeah, she dropped the ball right there. That was a moment where she could have been cool, calm, and collective, but she chose to, you know, and I think this was a preliminary moment showing that she was gonna go too far in her conversations, as she did a little bit later. We saw that.
So Noi and Steve, see, they're my favorite. I love Noi. She's so cute. So they have their date. They have good, funny banter. I love that when she said, she was like, I wrote it down, when do I poop in this marriage, right? And I think that is so vulnerable because it's the truth. Like, you just now met this person, but you're married. So it's like, you got to kind of let it all out and be yourself. But goddamn, you don't really want to be boo-booing in front of your new boo.
Too much information. I think that she shouldn't have said anything about the pooping. You know, come on. I mean, I think that's a no-brainer. She's gonna look back on that and see that, you know, I understand vulnerability, but pooping, that's a different vulnerability.
Okay.
I mean, you know, yeah, I'm not even gonna speak on that aspect of things, but, you know, in relationships, you know,
just don't say it. We all know what's going on, but just leave it alone.
Well, the thing is, at the end of the day, if they're in a relationship, you know, they're gonna, you know, it's nothing to, you know, be talking about when you're gonna be living it.
Yeah. Okay. I see your point. I see your point. All right. Now, your favorite O and Katina. All the other couples went on these cute beach dates, but not O. O wanted to take Katina to the gym. And you could tell Katina wasn't even feeling that. She even said in a confessional, she's like, I don't really want to go to the gym, but O wants to go, so I'm going to go with the flow. When they get there, O wants to do a real ass workout, people. Like, he doesn't want to just joke around with the weights. It's like serious to him. So she's kind of laughing or whatever, and he's like, while she's doing burpees, which she didn't know what burpees was, and I was like, come on, girl.
Who don't know?
Who don't know that? But anyways, she was doing her burpees, and he's like, stop laughing. Be serious. And I was like, what the, like,
right.
What?
Yeah, so that, I never said, this is a disclaimer, I never said that couple is my favorite, or that guy is my favorite. I just said that, I know people like him. That's it.
Oh, okay.
But at the same time, with that situation right there at the gym, it was just a no-go for me, because I feel like if you're in Puerto Rico, you're supposed to build up, get into the gym. I'm sure that they both go to the gym.
Not her.
Well, maybe
didn't know what a burpee was.
But I'm sure she may run. She may run or run track or anything like that. And what I'm saying is, basically, O could have done something romantic. He could, took her somewhere. She seems like she's very fashionable, so I'm sure she wants to, go take pictures and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So they could have, did some more romantic, adventures out there instead of going to the gym, where he actually, made it to where she's going to be able to hold some type of resentment towards him, because the way, the attitude that he brought towards the gyms and the workouts,
definitely,
it just put him in a bad space. It put her in a bad space. And I can't blame her just based off of the way he treated her. And then we find out that he even said that that's what he wanted to do. He wanted to play a game with this girl.
Games.
He said that this was a test for her to see if she would be able to stand up to him. And, fellas, I know you guys will understand. And ladies, if you are a man, you don't have to test a woman to see if she has the audacity to speak up for herself. She's going to do that on her own, on the individual.
Through time.
For sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Issues are going to arise, and there's no reason to create that in paradise when, it's nothing but, exotic animals and different excursions, and you're getting a trip paid for from the producers, and it's just like, take advantage of that. And you're playing games, but here's the thing, like Tupac said, we get our game from women, and if you play games, what they say, play stupid, win stupid prizes. And
preach, baby, preach.
Yes. So you gotta be, just be transparent and be honest, you know what I mean? And go for what you know. And he's playing games, and I think it's gonna bite him in his ass, in the future. We'll see.
We will see. All right, we move on to Chris and Alyssa, which is our it's not our favorite couple, but it's the most entertaining. Let's just be real, because Alyssa is an entertainer. Right. She is ridiculous. Okay, so they go paddle boarding, all right? Chris is excited about it. He's like, finally some time that I can be with my wife and have a good time.
Right.
Now, he's not very good at paddle boarding, but she's been paddle boarding before.
Right.
All right, so this is her element. So she laughed for the first time, right? Because she's been moping around literally the whole season so far. So I thought that was really interesting.
That was a laugh. I think that she has some issues going on. And you always have that off person just laugh for no reason. And I think she's one of those people. You have to watch out for those.
Probably. Now, they have this weird conversation, right? So he's like, hey, you're going to try to make this work, And she's like, yeah, I want to make sure that we're united. And I was like, okay, united. And then she said, but the experts, they just did it wrong. And I'm like, they didn't do it right. That's what she said. The experts didn't do it right.
Right.
And I'm like, so you want to be united with Chris, but at the same time you don't want him, and you said the experts did it wrong.
Right. So,
like, who are you?
Yeah, so she has like split personalities. That's what I'm thinking, because, you know, she's hot and cold.
Very.
And like a hot potato, I think she's gonna get dropped. That's what.
And she should.
And she should.
Chris he seems to be a good guy on this show. Like, he hasn't said anything out of line. I don't know why she's treating him
just like the guy, he's out there trying to have a good time in Puerto Rico, and this girl here is just like going to the bar and crying to the producers when she actually is the one that signed up for this type of show.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, what do you expect? She's like, I'm mad at the producers because they got the wrong person. Well, you got to make the best of it, and you know, I just don't understand why, you know, she's so malicious.
He's just not that bad.
She's very malicious.
Yeah, right. I agree. So she talks to him about how she has a psychic, okay? And the psychic told her, y'all, that the guy she's supposed to be with has pretty eyes, which Chris, I guess he has regular eyes, I don't know. And he has to have a eagle tattoo. And so Chris is like, are you serious? Or is this like a joke, whatever? She's dead ass serious.
Eagle tattoo. First, you're going to a psychic. And I'm guessing she went to a psychic in Puerto Rico. Right? And it's just, she's saying all of these things. She's doing a lot of gaslighting. She's doing a lot of, you know, manipulation. And I feel like at this point that she should exit the show.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
And Chris deserves a new wife. All right, hubby had to go, but we're back. Okay, so Jasmina and Mike are sitting at the pool for their date during the day. And they're going to talk about what they were talking about this morning, of how Mike feels that Jasmina has been very quiet and kind of distant from him, okay? So they're talking about it, and Jasmina's like, again, you're thinking of the worst case scenario. Like, why do you do this? And so Mike basically, you know, tells her, look, I've seen a lot of death in my family. I've seen my brother die in front of me. I've seen my grandma die, my friends die. And so I'm always expecting the worst out of situations, which I totally could get. I could see how you could feel that way. Then Jasmina comes back with it like, well, some people do that. And then some people, you know, just want to live life and enjoy life and that kind of thing. And I'm like, Jasmina, how are you going to tell this man about his experiences in life? Like, you don't know him. But anyways, I thought that was a little odd. But anyways, she wasn't really sympathetic to him in that situation. She's basically like, you just need to try to be a little more positive. And I get it. He does need to be positive, but at the same time, I feel you, Mike. I'm the same way. I'm always thinking of the worst case scenario to things just so I can prepare myself, okay? So I'm a little biased when it comes to Jasmina because I feel you, Mike. I am the same way. All right. Now, moving on, the day dates are done, right? Now moving on to the group date that they had where they all go onto a boat tour all together, okay? So it's starting off really good. I believe it was O. Yep. O asked everyone, hey, did anybody consummate the marriage? And, you know, no one really wanted to answer. You know, Katina had to be like, no, babe, that's personal. Don't tell that to people. But no one really answered. But Lindsay did this laugh as though she was like, yeah, we consummated the marriage. And, you know, Lindsay been wanting to rip Mike's clothes off since the wedding. So we all knew that was going to happen. Okay. All right. So everyone else, though, they haven't consummated the marriage. And they kind of left it at that. Right. Then Chris did this joke like, well, you know, we didn't consummate it. Talk about him and Alyssa. And it's like, dude, we already know that. You didn't even have to say it. All right. Anyway, so the boys go to an island, right? And they're chilling, talking. And then the girls stay on the boat to have a little chit chat, okay? So the boys, they're sitting down and they're going around saying, like, are you having any issues with your wife, right? And so Noi and Steve, like Steve mentioned that Noi kind of was overly feeling him, like maybe possible love, you know? And so Steve's like, whoa, I feel like she's moving too fast. What do you guys think? And they're just basically like, hey, you should just kind of be glad that your wife feels that way about you. And hopefully the feelings come, right? Then they go on to Mike. He kind of gives them a little summary of what he's dealing with Jasmina, and they kind of advise him to, you know, fall back a little bit. Don't keep bringing up issues all the time. Just get to know her, right? And then they go over to O, and he's just bringing up like how he tried to test Katina at the gym, which I just, like my husband said, it was just games, right? I don't understand why he was playing games with her about the gym thing. In my opinion, I don't think he was playing. I think he tried to clean it up later on to make it seem like he was, but he seems really serious at that gym, and Katina wasn't feeling it. Anyways, now going back to the girls. So the girls are on the boat. The first thing they ask is they want to know what's going on with Alyssa and Chris. Because obviously, if you're on this show, you would want to know what's going on with the couple who is not sleeping in the same bed. You know, you want to know what's going on. And Alyssa, she didn't want to address absolutely anything. She deaded all conversation. Literally, people would ask and she said, not talking about that. I don't want to get into that, right? So she doesn't want to talk about anything going on with her and Chris. I think because she knows there's nothing going on with Chris, so there's not much to talk about. Anyways, so it goes over to Lindsay. She's talking to the girls about the incident she had with O at the airport on the plane. And Lindsay says, you know, I was triggered by that in that moment. And so I am sorry for that, but I was triggered. And I think that really set Katina off because she's like, triggered, like, girl, you came to him, you know, attacking him with your questioning and all that. Then you were drunk. So what do you mean you were triggered, right? So she kind of goes off on Lindsay. And I really feel as though she went a little too far. So for example, she told Lindsay she's a 5-year-old manipulator. She's too old to act like the way she's acting. Like, she was going in. And I'm like, girl, you don't even know this woman. Like, why are you going in on her so hard, right? You just met your husband. You just met this chick. But anyways, Katina has been rehearsing what she was going to say to Lindsay. Like, she was ready to go, right? And so Alyssa surprisingly had her back. Like, yeah, girl, Lindsay's annoying, right? And so they just go swim off in the ocean while the other girls were sitting there kind of chit-chatting. So she comes back to the boat, Katina does, with Alyssa, to give Lindsay even more shit, right? She just keeps going at it. And I just think it was very immature of Katina. Like, girl, grow up, have a civilized conversation, and keep it moving. But anyways, and what I noticed too is, you know how O was like, oh, Katina's so passive. You know, I want to test her. Boy, you ain't got to test Katina. She ain't passive at all, okay? So, move on with that one. All right, so everyone gets back on the bus. Why do I keep saying bus? Back on the boat, and they play a game, Never Have I Ever. And so if you haven't heard of that game, which I hope you have if you were born in America and of age, but Never Have I Ever is when you put 10 hands up and you go around and say something that you've never done in hopes that someone else puts their finger down. And then the more fingers you put down, that's the person who loses. Now, they play that game, and they have some pretty interesting questions. Like first one was, never have I ever been arrested. We find out Jasmina's ass has been arrested, and it was for fighting. I was like, Jasmina, you're too pretty for that. So that was interesting. Then it said, never have I ever cheated. And we saw Steve put his finger down, and Noi secretly put her finger down. But she tried to act like she didn't. But anyways, so we saw that there was a lot of cheaters in that group. They didn't want to talk about it, but they was all little cheaters. Then the most weirdest question came from O. O was like, well, is there any more questions y'all want to ask? Everybody's like, no, we're good. You go ahead. He's like, well, never have I ever slept with somebody and then slept with their family member. And everybody was like, such a strange question. Like, it was just like, no, I'm sorry, I haven't done that before. And he goes, well, you know, I slept with a mom and a daughter before. And so everybody just face was like in shock. Because it was like, what was the reason? What was the reason to share that information? Okay, never have I ever. You're supposed to say things you haven't done before. But he was so excited to tell everyone that he slept with a daughter and mom duo. I just thought that was so crazy. Then everyone was kind of wondering, like, hey, I want to hear more of this story. Like, were they in the same room? Did they know, right? And he was like, of course they weren't in the same room, but they did know that I slept with the mom and I slept with the daughter. Like, they both were understanding that the other was sleeping with him. And I was like, what the? Oh, keep that to yourself. You know what I mean? Keep it to yourself, honey. That was a little too much information. Anyways, so it sounds like everyone kind of cleans up for the night and then they start doing dinner dates. All right, so the first dinner date that we see is Noi and Steve. Of course, those two have great banter together. And then Steve brought up, you know, kind of that awkwardness that he had with Noi when Noi was like, hey, I'm kind of falling for you. And he said, oh, okay, right? So they're having a conversation about that moment. And she did say that she was a little, just a tad bit upset about it, kind of shocked that he didn't really reciprocate with that same energy. But he did reassure her that, you know, he is really interested in her, you know, thinks she's hot and all that good stuff. But he's just kind of a little more slower to getting to the point. And so, you know, can you blame him? They just met 4 days ago, okay? Now, Noi kind of shifted the conversation into cheating, okay? She brought up how never have I ever Steve put his finger down, and she was like, you know, I put my finger down too. And he's like, what? I didn't know that. I peeped it though. But anyways, so they start talking about how both of them cheated when they were like 18, 19. And truthfully, I hate to say it, but 18, 19, like, are we even counting those as relationships? Like, that was so long ago. But anyways, so they both said they cheated when they were younger, but they saw how that affected the other person. And so they kind of told themselves, I would never do that again, which I like to hear because my husband brought up a good point about that. If you cheat and then you saw what it did to the other person and you don't give a damn, right? And you keep cheating, like, dude, you're psycho, right? Like, no empathy at all. So I did like how both of them were like, yeah, it happened once back in the day, but I learned from it. So they both seem to be cool with their, you know, with that, on the same page at least when it came to cheating. All right, then they go back to Jasmina and Mike, and poor Jasmina and Mike, they just can't get past their little small issues. Like, they have little issues that they just blow up into something bigger than it has to be. Anyways, so Jasmina has a confessional, and she says that Mike is upset with her because when they were on the boat, they mentioned how Mike was talking and saying, hey, we haven't consummated our marriage. And he was kind of giving their explanation. And she cut him off to say, yes, because I need an emotional connection with someone before I have sex with them. And so he's saying, yeah, I didn't appreciate how you cut me off. And then they play a clip back. And I hate to say it, Mike, she didn't really cut you off. But she did speak up, right, when the group shifted the conversation to them. So she didn't really cut him off, but she did kind of give him this snarky look when she said, like, I need an emotional connection basically saying, I ain't got that with you yet. Right. So that's the only thing I thought she did that was not even wrong. She just did a snarky remark and look. That was it. But he blew it out of proportion and wanted to talk about it. In fact, he was so upset about it, he wants a full-blown ass apology from her, which I thought it was a little bit stretch, but hey. So Jasmina is pissed, right? She's like, nobody's going to tell me I need to apologize for them for something I don't think I did. And so she said basically she doesn't even know if she wants to be married to him anymore. Then she said she doesn't even know if she wants to share the bed with him anymore. I'm just like, you two are dramatic, right? Like, this issue is so small and they blew it up into something so big. Anyways, but what I think and what I said earlier is I think Mike is a little horny and he's expecting that they should be making out and consummating that marriage, and she's not really down for that yet, and that's why he's mad. That's how I feel, but that's just my opinion, okay? All right, so O and Katina, they went on a dinner date, and Katina starts the date off talking about the drama from the boat. And I'm like, Katina, you're not on Basketball Wives. You're not on Real Housewives of Atlanta. You're on Married at First Sight. So keep it there. So O kind of had to remind her, like, okay, babe, enough of the drama. Let's talk about being you type of thing, okay? And so she brings up how, O was saying some crazy stories on that boat. He was talking about threesomes. He was talking about sleeping with moms and daughters. Like, he was talking about some crazy stuff. So she's like, are you still into all that kind of thing? Because I'm not really into the threesomes. Like, I'm good on that. And he's like, no, it's really what you want. I was just saying, a man wouldn't be mad if you said, hey, let's bring another girl in. That's all he's trying to say. But I just think O is not done with Isaac yet. I don't know. Put that in the comments if you really think his ass is done with Isaac. Because I think he's going to turn into Isaac. Okay? But anyways, my husband doesn't think so, though. He thinks he's a changed man. I don't see it. But anyways, what I did think was interesting in their conversation, he said he deleted his Instagram for Katina. And that was like, oh, deleted a whole Instagram. Okay. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know. I'm just feeling he's giving me, player vibes still. So that's what I worry about. He also mentioned how he is fine with not having sex with Katina. In fact, he would prefer it because he wants to really get to know this girl. And I hope he's being genuine about that. Since he is a player and probably has had a lot of sex, then maybe he's just like, look, I just want to find a good girl. I don't really care about the sex like that because I've had so much of it, right? So maybe that's how he's feeling. I don't know. But he needs to talk to old Mike over here with Jasmina, because I think Mike's horny and he needs to get some advice from O. Okay? All right, back to the couple that I wouldn't say love to hate because I love Chris, but Alyssa, Anyway, so Chris and Alyssa, they decide to go scuba diving / snorkeling, okay? And Chris is excited. Like, you can tell he keeps talking about it. Like, he's like, oh, I'm so excited to do this. I've never done this before. And so in his confessional, he's like, I'm glad that I can spend time with Alyssa and do something together. Then the next scene shows Alyssa saying, I'm not really going to do that with you, right? She's like, sounds fun. I'll watch you do it, but I'm not going to do it. And so he's like, Chris still tries to keep it positive. So he's like, okay, I'll just do it by myself. Okay. And so he goes in to do the scuba / snorkeling. And then she's standing on the beach for about 5 seconds until she realizes, I don't want to be here. So she gets up, puts her clothes back on, and goes to grab something to eat. The producers walk over to her, and she's like, I don't want to go scuba diving. I don't want to go anywhere with him in the water, right? And so the producers were like, well, what do you want to do? And she goes, not be here. And I'm like, you know what? Send her ass home. She's trying to get a free trip with her cheap ass. Send her ass home because you don't need to be there. Oh, that made me so mad. Then she said, I hate my mom. And then the producer's like, why do you hate your mom? And she's like, my mom told me that I just need to be here, enjoy my time here, and try to get to know him, but I don't want to get to know him. I don't like him, that kind of thing. So she's literally does a tantrum. Like, I have a 6-year-old, and my 6-year-old doesn't even throw tantrums like this chick. But anyways, so she's crying, saying that she doesn't even want to be around him, right? So Chris is done scuba diving, right? And so he doesn't know what he's stepping into. He thinks he's just meeting up with Alyssa. He walks closer to her, and she tells the producers, tell him I don't want him around me. And I'm like, this little, like, seriously? I can't. Then I didn't even mention, before he even started scuba diving, she was basically saying that she doesn't like his physical appearance, right? Because Chris isn't fat, but he's not built, right? And so she said that she didn't even like his physically, just literally kicking this man while he's already down. Like, this girl, crazy. All right, anyways, going to Steve and Noi. After they had dinner, they hit the pool, right? So they're in the pool at night, looking all good. Noi looking good. Steve's like, she's hot. Like, they are feeling each other. Noi, she's so cute. She cries literally every 5 seconds. But anyways, so she's enjoying her time with Steve, and they're really connecting. And it looked like a really cute scene for those two. Now, Mike and Lindsay. Okay, so they go on a romantic dinner date, right? Lindsay's thinking it's going to be a romantic date because remember, they've already consummated their marriage. They've been going pretty good, right? Like, Mike's kind of concerned about, how Lindsay handles conflict, which we all are concerned, but for the most part, they were getting along good, right? So they go have dinner, and Mike kind of throws a bomb and everything by saying, basically, I don't really like your behavior, and I feel like I can't really breathe around you, and I kind of want to slow it down and not escalate things, like, we're moving kind of fast, right? We're having sex, we're kissing, being lovey-dovey. Maybe we should slow it down a little bit. And so I don't know what Lindsay heard, but Lindsay went off. And at first I was feeling what she was saying, because she's like, look, we've already consummated the marriage. You're acting like I'm just being the lovey-dovey one. Like, you're loving on me too. Like, I'm confused. And she said, look, if you want me to stop, I can stop, and I can really stop. Like, if you don't want to be with me, I don't want to be with you, type of thing, right? And she was like, and to keep it 100 with you, you need to stop clogging the toilet. You need to stop farting in the bed, leaving the door open when you're shitting, right? She goes off. Like, she starts listing out things that bother her. Chewing with your mouth open. Like, she didn't hold nothing back, right? And Mark, he's a stand-up guy. He let her get her shit out, let her, say what she needs to say. And he's like, well, I still stand on, I just don't want to be very lovey-dovey right now. I want to get to know you more and that kind of thing. And she was pissed. So she's like, look, I'm ready for bed. So it shows them going to the hotel. And he's like, hey, do you want to talk about it a little bit more? And she's like, not really. I really don't want to see you. In fact, if you can leave the room, right? She starts being a total smartass to him. And she's really pissed. And I think it's not even that she's angry, she's hurt. Because I think she was feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm falling in love with this guy. And then he says, pump the brakes, right? So she's just hurt, but she needs to grow up and just use her words. Just let him know how she's feeling. Moving on. So O and Katina, they have a romantic night. Okay, so after dinner, he takes her back to the crib. Well, back to the hotel. Takes her back to their room, and there's rose petals on the bed. It's so romantic. And so he lifts her up, throws her on the bed, massages her feet, all this sweet stuff. And then Katina has a confessional, and she's literally crying with emotion. because she's like, oh my gosh, I've never gotten treated like this. This man is being so sweet to me. I think I'm falling for O. And I'm like, damn, I just didn't expect that couple to go like they're going. I'm very shocked. But again, O has a mouthpiece on him. So I pray that he's being genuine. But she's really falling for O. And I'm shocked, y'all. I didn't think that couple was going to be that couple, if you know what I mean. Like, I did not picture it. But anyways, I'm happy for him, right? No shade here. I'm happy for him. All right, so that was the end of the episode. We will see how the next episode goes. I'm really excited because this season is getting juicy. Every episode I'm like, ooh, what's next? So follow me next week so we can dive into season 14 episode. Are we on 5 already? 5? No, can't be. Are we? I think we are. Maybe episode 6. I need to check. But be sure to come back next week and we'll dive into the episode. Also, I promise you guys I will be uploading my keto journey. I've been really backed up lately at work, so I'm going to be on that so you guys can see how much weight loss I've been doing all January. And I'm continuing. I got 4 more months on this journey, y'all. I'm trying to lose 50 pounds. All right, y'all. Have a good night.